Hello, everyone. Hopefully this is working okay. Please tell me if it is not. Hi, my name is Matthew, and this is Museum Makers Live, a new show on YouTube, all about science and technology and nature and the environment, recorded live here at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences, a world-class museum in North Carolina, the largest one in the Southeast. And this lab that we're broadcasting from, this is our lab where we teach science and technology, all sorts of different types of technology, all the maker style technologies you've ever heard of. We do a lot of coding and robotics and 3D printing, electronics, circuitry, all those things we do in here to build exhibits with, but also teach you as well. See, this lab, this educational space is free for anyone to come into. In fact, the whole museum, the entire North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences is free for anyone to visit. So we hope that you do sometime. You can find the website, naturalsciences.org, and the hours for everything for you to check out. So what do we do on these streams? Well, on these streams, we use Minecraft to talk about all these topics that we're interested in. But we're also doing it as a way for you to have a chance to do what people do with us in this lab and in real life every single day, to ask us questions. Ask us questions about anything. The coordinator and I have backgrounds in environmental science, but we're also makers. We do a lot with computers and electronics and 3D printing, all that stuff I was just talking about. So if you have any questions about any of that stuff, just let us know. And so we're going to use Minecraft to talk about different types of creatures during each episode, but we're also working on various builds related to the museum. We're working on building the entire museum inside and out at 1-to-1 scale within Minecraft. If you would like to see a tour of what we've done so far, you can check it out back in episode 1. In various episodes, we return to the museum. We are going to be doing some building this episode. However, it's going to be for a building that this museum doesn't actually have yet, but would love to have one day. You see, today is all about the ocean, but specific parts of the ocean. We're going to talk about hydrothermal vents, communities, if you haven't heard about those. Hopefully you haven't, because that means you're going to learn about something and see something maybe you've never seen before. It's these communities, the environments themselves are amazing, but the creatures surrounding these features are amazing as well, because they're not found anywhere else. But then we're also going to be working on a new building for the museum, a building that like I said, the museum wishes it had. We're going to be working on a sea lab, a research base under the ocean, of which they do exist in real life, or I shouldn't say it does exist in real life. Currently, there's only one in the world, and we're going to use that as a template for building what this museum would love to have in the ocean in real life. We use that to talk about coral reefs. So we're going to do that during the third part of this program. But first, why don't we get into the game and talk about hydrothermal vents a little bit, and then visit one. And we're going to be, when we visit one, you're going to be seeing all sorts of creatures that you don't typically see in Minecraft. They're not vanilla Minecraft. They're through mods, and then that we have downloaded, and we'll have a list of them. But we have also added our own mods that we have created using Blockbench. So that out of the way, why don't we get into it and introduce. So my name is Matthew. I'm the manager of this lab, and you're also about to meet Audrey, the coordinator of this lab. So let's go. And here we are. Okay, so let's talk about hydrothermal vent communities in general real quick. So for a long time, so it's been known that where tectonic plates meet, whether they're rubbing up against each other or moving apart or coming together, cracks form And so you can imagine that in the ocean, when that happens on the seafloor, water is going to seep into those cracks. And if it's able to get down far enough, it may come in contact with the magma. So what's going to happen to the water then? Well, it's going to become superheated and want to come back out. And that hadn't been witnessed before, but it had been hypothesized until finally in 1977, a submersible with people inside, probably the most famous submersible ever, named Alvin, dove down to a place where it was predicted there would be a hydrothermal vent, where two tectonic plates came together. And they did find that. But that wasn't all that they found. So they found these structures that look like, I'll show you a picture in a moment, these structures that look like underwater volcanoes, these chimneys with hot water coming out, superheated water coming out, and minerals and chemicals. But that wasn't all that they found, because they also found, I'll show you, this. They found life. It had been assumed that these communities would not harbor life, would be very inhospitable to life, because they're so far down, they're well beyond how far light can penetrate. So at these depths, light never penetrates. And as we know, as we're taught in school, the base of the food chain, at the base of the food chain are photosynthetic creatures that use sunlight for energy. Well, so what would you expect if there wasn't any sunlight? You would expect nothing. But as it turns out, deep in the ocean where pressure is skull crushing, the water is very, very cold except right next to the vents, sunlight never penetrates, there is life. And you can see it here on this image here. There is an awful lot of life. So what is the base of that food chain? The very base of that food chain is bacteria. Bacteria that does not photosynthesize. It uses another process. And we'll talk about that and more when we visit one in Minecraft right now. So let me turn this away. Okay, so here we are. You're going to be able to join us soon, Audrey? Let's see here. And so if at any point during this stream anyone has any questions about anything we're talking about or anything related to this topic, please do ask in the chat. We'll be monitoring it and we'll answer your questions live. Any comments that you might have. Okay, so right now we're above the ocean. Oh, what is that? Oh, looks like a basking shark.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, hey Audrey.
I fell down.
Okay. Ready to start our descent?
Yeah, you see those whale sharks over there?
Yeah, they look great.
That's so cool.
So whale sharks do not bioluminesce in real life, but these guys do. I do not know why. All right, so we're starting our descent past some kelp forest to begin with, which is something we'd like to do an episode on at some point.
Kelp forests are where a lot of different animals like to keep their babies, but it's one of the more famous uses of the kelp forest is where sea turtles like to grow up. Obviously, kelp is photosynthetic. It's a plant, so it is still in the portion of the ocean that is the photic zone, the portion of the ocean that has a significant amount of light penetrating through it. That is in the first 200 meters, which is, I don't know how many feet.
So in real life, you would want to, so we're descending very slowly. In real life, you would want to descend very slowly. You would want to give your body time to acclimate to the increasing pressure, whether you're descending and especially when you're ascending, when you're rising back up. So if you go deep enough and rise up too quickly, the gases in your blood expand too quickly, and you can get something called the bends, which is very painful, can be lethal. Oh, so we were passing whale sharks. We were commenting about whale sharks. The only fact I give was that they do not bioluminesce. Well, the other thing that's interesting about them is that they're the largest fish in the sea, and they are filter feeders. As we descend here, I see in front of me, I
I've
think
lost
these
you
might
again.
be
It's a very murky down here.
anglerfish. So a lot of creatures bioluminesce, and they bioluminesce using different methods and for different reasons. So right in front of me there, let me get my spyglass. Right in front of me there is a anglerfish. An anglerfish. Oh, that's where you are. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go.
Turn around.
Anglerfish
There he is.
use bioluminescence to help lure prey towards them.
Now, you might think that anglerfish are really very deep in the ocean, but these are more in the sort of... They're in the midnight zone, so they're in areas where it's really dark, but they are not actually on the sea floor. They're in the more middle deep ocean.
So we're coming close to these. Oh, there's a lot of snails there, and really close to the vent community here. So this vent community that we've created, and just added some light boxes so that we can, oh geez, we can see everything more clearly. These vent communities so this is pretty accurate to like that photograph I showed you previously. So the first thing you'll notice are some very strange tall creatures here. Those would be the famous tube worms, which had never been seen before anywhere else. These creatures can grow 4 to 6 feet long. And then there are also very large clams that live there as well, that can be a couple feet long. If you ever do get the chance to visit the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences, we actually do have an exhibit on hydrothermal vents on the second floor with really good models, life-size models of the vents and the tube worms and the clams and some other things as well, including the barrel eye fish, which wouldn't be right here, but anyways.
What is a hydrothermal vent, Matt?
Yeah, so a hydrothermal vent it refers to these tall structures here. So these tall structures are where there are cracks in the earth, and the ocean seeps down through those cracks, comes in contact with magma or gets really close to it, and gets superheated, and then comes boiling back up. Well, it carries along with that anything that was down there. And hydrogen sulfide is one of the big components of these vents, one of the big features of these vents that help to feed the base of the food chain, the sulfur-consuming bacteria. And so that this bacteria does not photosynthesize. It uses the chemicals it converts the chemicals into energy ultimately. And then larger things eat that bacteria, and larger things eat those, and larger things eat those, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And these chimneys do not last forever because tectonic plates are always moving, but they last long enough for creatures, for bacteria to find them, pioneering species like bacteria. And I guess since they must move slowly across the ocean, you could probably find a line of them.
I have something else I can say about that line too, which is interesting.
Yes.
When we get to our whale fall.
Oh, cool. Are you going over there now?
We can keep talking about this for a little bit if you want
Okay.
to.
Well, let me talk about so these tube worms are interesting for a lot of reasons. They do not have what we would consider a true stomach. They do not have a true mouth. They do not excrete. what they do is they have an organ that contains a lot of this bacteria. It houses the bacteria. And as that bacteria consumes the sulfide, the hydrogen sulfide, it converts it into other components, but also releases energy. And that's what the worm, that's how the worm gets its energy. There are also lots of crabs that live in this area, called so-called vent crabs. Some of them are yeti crabs, called yeti crabs, because they have these filaments that grow on their appendages that make them look furry. And it's not sure exactly what they're used for yet. Kind of a new species to be discovered. There's also some other interesting creatures like this little. So these are all, so far I'm describing mods that we've created ourselves. This one here represents a very special kind of snail called a volcano snail. Now I've seen if you look up volcano snails online or on social media, you'll see lots of things that are called volcano snails, but this is the real volcano snail. And it looks pretty typical for a snail, but what's really unique about it, here, let me light it up a little bit, is that, do you see on its foot there, see how it's black? Well, the real one has these what look like scales, like armored scales covering its foot. And that armor is actually made of iron. It's able to absorb iron in the environment and create an armor made out of iron to help protect it from this water. The water coming out of these vents can be 700 degrees Fahrenheit. So hot enough to cook almost anything alive. I don't even know if a tardigrade could survive 700 degrees. Certainly not at this depth. Well, actually, I can't say that for sure.
There's another type of tube worm, not the tube effects, which is what we made, those red tube worms, but there's another one that has a symbiotic relationship with a bacterial mat that grows on the surface of that tube worm up to a centimeter thick, and the tube worm provides structure around and protection from like the acidic waters, and then the bacterial mat provides protection from the temperature, the extremely high temperatures of the water.
Yes, you'll find a lot of symbiotic relationships in an environment like this. You will not find our clownfish like you're looking at right now. Unfortunately, we don't have control over where some of the aquatic creatures in this game spawn. There are fish, not a whole lot of fish, but there are some fish that do live in these communities. One of the things that they probably eat that we do not have represented here are shrimp. There's a type of shrimp called what is it? Let me pull it up here. I've forgotten. It's Alvinicaris. There's a type of shrimp called Alvinicaris, obviously named after the submersible Alvin that first discovered these. That is kind of cool. I mean, it looks like a normal shrimp, and it's very much like a normal shrimp. It doesn't have a whole lot of unique adaptations for this environment, aside from the fact that it creates, so there's a protein that shrimp do create that help them withstand thermal shock. So like sudden temperature changes. Well, this shrimp produces more of that protein than most other shrimp do, so that it doesn't, in case it does. Oh, look at speak of the devil. How'd that happen? I like how they're pink to begin with. Usually shrimp aren't pink until they're cooked. Well, anyways, so they have this protein that helps protect them from sudden heat shock, so that they accidentally get too close to the vent. They're able to react in time before they're cooked. And that's pretty much it. And so what they do is they survive, they live their entire lives between the really cold water, because the water down there, if you're not right next to a vent, is extremely cold. There's no sunlight. Between the really cold water and the 700-degree water. If they get too close, they'll get cooked. But they're able to withstand getting close briefly, enough time to react. A lot of other creatures aren't like that. So what do the shrimp eat? The shrimp eat the creatures that accidentally get cooked by the hydrothermal vents. So it's kind of ironic, because typically you're going to cook the shrimp to eat them. These shrimp are eating their meals that have been cooked for them. And they thrive in these communities. Look at them go. They're so very happy. What else do we have around here to talk about? Let's see. Oh, there's
Got a
another
couple of cephalopods over there. I think there's some
anglerfish.
sharks. Sharks are interesting in a lot of different ways. They serve a lot of different purposes in the ecosystem.
What type of shark did you see?
I saw a frilled shark, but now I can't find it because it's so dark down
okay.
here. There's also the flashlight fish, which is a bioluminescent fish, and it's a very, very common bioluminescent fish in the deep sea.
So yeah, so some creatures. Oh, there's the barrel eye. Do you want to talk about the barrel eye?
You know more about the barrel eye than I do, I think.
Okay, maybe. Well, probably not, but I'll do it. So first of all, I mentioned in our museum, we have on the second floor, the Nature Research Center, the building we're currently in. There is an exhibit about hydrothermal vents, and there is a model of a barrel eye fish. So the barrel eye fish is one of those creatures that you would have never guessed could exist. And if you saw it, you wouldn't think it was real, because it is got to be one of the most absurd fish. I will pull up a picture of one and then show it to you and then explain why it looks so very weird. Barrel eye fish. Barrel eye fish, okay. Okay. Come on, pull up here. Open image, new tab. Well, that's just a little picture. I need a better one than that. Aren't you? Okay. All right, let me show you. Barrel eye fish. Okay. Sorry if that was really popping just now. So look at that fish. What's unusual about that fish? Well, that fish's head is clear. Now, you've seen clear fish before. You've certainly seen them in the pet store. And I think it's primarily used as a way to help camouflage and blend in. But this fish, that's not really an issue when you're this deep in the water. This fish has a clear head for its eyes. Now, look at this picture and try to decide where its eyes are. Let's see. Hopefully you see my cursor. Should be able to see my cursor. So you see what looks like its mouth. It has a little pouty looking mouth. Its mouth can open and close. Some fish don't have mouths that open and close. So next to its mouth are these right here. And if you think that these are little eyes, they are not eyes. This is actually their nose. Their little nostrils here. Their eyes are these green orbs. Are the green? Maybe you can't see my cursor. Well, the green orbs are their eyes. And which way is it looking? It's looking up through its own head. It does that so that it can see predators above. It can rotate those eyes to look forward if it wants to, but it's primarily looking straight up. so that it can tell if there's a predator nearby or just a hint of a predator. The barrel-eye fish. So if you didn't know that existed before, you are welcome. The lanternfish is interesting. Wait, no, the flashlight fish, not the lanternfish. The flashlight, what's interesting about the flashlight fish, see if I can find one. I think that's the barrel eye again. The flashlight fish is interesting because it's not actually produced, so it bioluminesces, but it's not actually producing that bioluminescence. It has an organ that bacteria live in that bioluminesce. I think this is one. I'm pretty sure this is one.
Here, I can spawn one if you need me to.
I think I'm looking at one now. I think.
I keep getting incredibly lost.
So the bacteria bioluminesce, and then it has like a little flappy flap, and it can open and close that little flappy flap to show the bacteria, to have the light emit from that bacteria, or they can shut it so that it's not emitting it. So the bacteria is always bioluminescing, but it can
Yeah, there it is.
that's one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It can decide whether to let that light pass through or not using a little flap. That's a really cool adaptation. So, and then the bacteria get a really nice safe home.
There's a lot of interesting adaptations that happen here in the deep sea. So, one of them is that bioluminescence. Now, bioluminescence is used for a whole bunch of different things. One of the things it's used for is stunning or dazzling prey. There is also oh gosh, I can't remember what kind of squid it was. Let me check my notes. There's a squid that I think it's a squid that when it is being predated upon, when something is trying to hunt it down, it does this sort of strobing effect, which gets the attention of a larger predator that will come and attack whatever is trying to feed on the squid. Kind of like a little siren.
I believe, I don't remember if it's a squid or an octopus, but isn't there a creature that will they'll eject some of that bioluminescence if it's startled?
Ooh, I don't know.
I could be wrong, like how an octopus can squirt out ink.
In addition to bioluminescence, another one of the big things that creatures have to do down here is adapt to pressure. Because every 10 meters of water that you go down, and this is sort of, this is kind of imitating 700 meters to 1,000 meters of water-ish, or of depth. So every 10 meters, it is the pressure of an entire atmosphere.
Ooh. That's nuts. I think this is a good opportunity to, when we're talking about pressure and creatures, to set the record straight about a very famous creature.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm going to talk about?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
So
much maligned.
Yes, much undeservedly maligned fish. You have most certainly heard of or seen pictures that look like this. That look like, let me get it up here. Look like this right here, the blobfish. Well, the unfortunate thing about this creature, so everyone just assumes this is the way that it always looks, but that is not the case. Blobfish doesn't always look like this. Blobfish looks like this because blobfish lives in a deep ocean and has been, when it's plucked out of the ocean and up on land, this is what happens to it. You probably wouldn't look very good if you were brought down to the depths
Or
either.
if you were sent out into space without a spacesuit.
That's right. So this is what the blobfish looks like when it's in its natural environment. Pretty normal. Pretty normal. Not something you might rush out for to put in an aquarium. But a far cry from what social media they like to portray it. Another creature that is really interesting that I don't think that's not found this deep, but it's a fun one to talk about anyways. Those shrimp are really funny. Is the sea angel, which I don't think it bioluminesces. I haven't heard about that, but these guys are. So the sea angel. So here it is right here. And that's not a bad representation of what they really look like. It is a type of sea slug. You've probably seen sea slugs before. These very tiny little slugs that live in the ocean. Oftentimes will have a symbiotic relationship with algae. But usually you see them crawling across coral reefs and seagrass. But this type has little flappy flaps that they use to swim through the ocean with. And let me show you what they look like in real life, because they are really cool creatures, really pretty little creatures. Let's see, where'd my browser go?
So yeah, these guys live around the same, more around the twilight zone, as it's called, rather than the midnight zone, which is where we are, where there's a little bit of light in the twilight zone, but not as much as the photic zone, where you'll find things like algae.
Yeah, look at that little guy. Anyways, enough of that. Okay, and again, if anyone has any questions about anything that they see or don't see, please let us know. So before we move on, is there something else in this area that you'd like to show off or talk about, Audrey?
Oh. Well, we've got a lot of snails. We've got snails and crabs. Those are two of the main kinds of creatures, kinds of invertebrates that you'll find down here. Lots of different kinds of crazy, spindly, long-legged crabs, like the spider crab, and it's not the snow crab, king crab. All of these crabs with these super long, crazy legs, and there's even, now we don't have a model of it, but there are even fish that have things that look like long legs called the tripod fish. And they use those legs to sort of navigate and feel around on the ground, and they look ridiculous. They've got these long, spindly legs sticking out the bottom of them, and they look a little bit like a fish that we'll see over by the. Actually, you might be able to see them. I see one here. This is the ratfish. This guy here. So he's got these flat fins that splay out on the bottom, and they like to hang out on the seafloor and scavenge around. They're sort of like the catfish of the ocean. Oh, and there's a drowned. Do you see the drowned above you?
Oh, yeah, look at them swim by. Oh, that's funny. I don't usually see them swimming. Oh, living his best life. Oh.
Oh, and an axolotl.
I think one attacked the other.
Oh dear. Yeah. This one
There's-
seems to be stuck. Oh, it's back. Okay.
They're- No, look at them fighting.
Now, axolotls are not in the deep ocean or in the ocean at all. They would not survive salt water.
No.
But this is a flooded cave. So the axolotls sort of moved over from a lush cave environment.
That axolotl is straight up attacking that drowned. And then I think it's taking damage and then regenerating itself.
Yeah, it can regenerate itself. It'll go down to the one of the behaviors of the Minecraft axolotl is it'll go down to the
Wow.
floor and regenerate.
That's
Take a little
so
nap.
great. That's really cool. Okay. Well, is there anything else down here you want to show us? Maybe something that fell?
Yeah. We've got a whale fall over here, which is what happens to whales when they die and then sink to the very bottom of the ocean. So whales are a really, really important food source for a whole variety of creatures. In fact, an entire ecosystem ends up being built on top of the bones of these whales. So you can imagine an enormous, something like a blue whale. This is much smaller. This is a smaller whale. Probably like, this is about the size of a right whale, I think. Still pretty big, but that's way more food than any of these animals are really used to getting. Because what they're used to is something that's colloquially called marine snow, which is little flakes of dead things and detritus that fall down. Is that it? Are these hammerhead sharks? What are they? Yes,
that
they're
or maybe
hammerhead
like
sharks. They're very
a bonnet
cute.
head. Pretty small.
So speaking of sharks, sharks are very important in the first stage of whale decomposition. So when a whale first dies, sharks are the first on the scene to eat all of the big fleshy parts. It's whales it's sharks and hagfish. And on the first floor of the museum in the other building, you will see an example of this first stage of decomposition, or first stage of ecological succession, which is called the called the mobile scavenger phase. So these are hagfish, sharks, other kinds of fish, big fish, that are more in the mid zones of the open sea. And then once the whale hits the bottom of the ocean, we get our enrichment opportunists. Man, I think the sharks keep eating my octopi.
Oh, really?
I had octopi and squid over here, but they have disappeared. But enrichment opportunist usually is largely octopi and crabs, as well as snails and a couple of other kinds of interesting critters. And these guys are the ones that eat all of the leftover flesh and the loose lipids, so the loose bits of fat that are left over, that the sharks couldn't really handle. And then, now here's what's really special about whales, aside from the fact that they're enormous and they provide a whole lot of food, is that whales have lipids inside of their bones, which no fish really have that. If you are comparing like a whale fall to a whale shark that falls is able to produce some food for an ecosystem, but not to the extent or for the length of time that a whale will provide. So a whale fall ecosystem can last upward of 10 years.
And that's because the fats and lipids are not soluble in water, so they don't immediately start to dissolve and just dissipate, right?
And these ones that are inside of the bones are not easily accessible to a lot of animals. And so we have our third stage, which is the sulfophilic stage, which are these chemosynthetic bacteria that Matt was talking about earlier. These are bacteria, and then later there's a bunch of little worms and funky things that will break down the bones and break down the lipids inside of the bones into something that is digestible for other creatures, especially mollusks. So snails usually come in at this time. But they have to be snails that are well adapted for high acid, because these chemosynthetic bacteria produce a ton of sulfuric acid, which if you've been in a chemistry class, you aren't supposed to touch sulfuric acid. It's really stinky, and a lot of creatures don't like to be around there. So you create an extremophile situation here around the bones of these whales.
So the majority of the sea floor, the deep ocean sea floor past the benthic zone, is bare. But when an opportunity arises, like a hydrothermal vent or a whale fall, then there's this island effect, or a ship that sinks. Then all of a sudden now there are nutrients, or even just places to anchor for creatures to start building a community around. So these are very, very important communities.
Something interesting about whale falls in particular is that, and like the hydrothermal vents, is that you can follow along the migration patterns of whales and see how these different ecosystems, and essentially all of these animals that thrive off of whale falls also migrate with the whales. So they're following along under the whales as they die while they're migrating.
Sure.
And that leads to sort of a stepping stone version of, or form of transport. So you can jump from whale fall to hydrothermal vents to whale fall, and that way animals can colonize further, animals and bacteria. One of the cool things I recently read was that these chemosynthetic bacteria actually predate photosynthetic bacteria. So chemosynthesis was the primary metabolism. That was the first way of eating before anything else, which makes a lot of sense, because this is where we all started, here on the ocean floor. Not necessarily this deep, but all sorts of different areas on the ocean floor.
And again, this is also where you will find clownfish.
Mm-hmm.
Just like here. It's not true. It's not true. Only in Minecraft. Okay, well, why don't we, I think in the future, we'd like to do a whale fall exclusive episode showing the different stages. Mm-hmm. But why don't we move on now to a bit of a challenge? We always like to set up some kind of challenge for ourselves. And I mentioned before that we were going to be doing some building. So we're going to move to a slightly different location and talk a little bit about and start building a underwater research base. So let's get out of here.
Now, you could not swim up this fast.
Yes.
You would, well, not only would it be impossible to do, also you would get the bends really bad, which is
Yeah.
Not something you want.
So in reality, this would take hours.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to set it to the day, do daylight cycle, through, time set day. Okay. Oh, I need to adjust my settings now. Stand by. Render distance. Brightness. Simulation. And I think that's it. Yeah. So let me find our little raft. And then let's talk about what we're going to do. Oh, I don't remember where it is. Are you there already?
I am.
Okay, I will just go to you. Oh, okay, you're underwater. Ooh. Yep, so this is a really nice coral reef. And I'm gonna go up to our little raft here.
I will join you momentarily.
Bounced on the bed. Okay, so let me show you all a picture of something. There have been others, but there is currently only one underwater research base in the world. It was started by NOAA, National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, but it is now owned by a university in Florida, and it is in Key Largo. So it is called Aquarius. And no. Keep clicking things I don't mean to click. Aquarius, reef base. Okay. All right. So here is the Aquarius reef base. It is an underwater habitat, about 50 feet down, I believe, that scientists use to live in the ocean for a time to do research. Now, why would they do this? Why not just, if they have to be far out from shore, why don't they just live on a boat for a while and dive down when they need to? Well, because when you're diving, even at this depth, 50 feet isn't super deep, but even at that depth, you can only stay underwater for so long because of how your body needs time to acclimate to the pressure, and of course, oxygen, your oxygen tanks, but more importantly, the pressure. So you can only do it for a couple hours at a time normally, but if you are always underwater, if you first start underwater and let your body acclimate over time to that pressure, then you can stay underwater in a wetsuit and everything doing research for up to 9 hours at a time. You can, or maybe it's 9 hours, 9 hours a day underwater. So you can't do that if you're constantly going up and down onto a boat. So in one day, you could do the same amount of work that it would take like a week for you to do. So you can do a lot more work. And so this research base is near a coral reef. It's amongst a coral reef. And so a lot of reef research related to, a lot of it's related to climate change these days, can be conducted much more efficiently and faster than it otherwise could be conducted. So you can find lots of videos online of people going into the research base and showing off all the parts. It's really cool. If you're into all those like tiny house living videos, this is what that is, except the view out the windows is a lot cooler. Anyways, okay. So I'm just moving some windows around here. Let's see, where did my pictures? Yeah, there's my pictures. Okay. All right, so back to the game. So we're going to do this in survival mode. Now I haven't used Minecraft in survival mode that much, so I am not good at it, and I will probably die a lot. I think I've already slept in one of these beds, so I should be able to respawn here. We have all the. We're not going to be doing any mining because I think it's be pretty boring just to watch us mine. So we have all the materials that we should need inside of these chests. So we're going to build and come up for air when we need to, and see how far we can get. So, oh, what's that? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put myself into survival mode, game mode.
Oh, I gotta
Survival.
come up. I was just repopulating because a lot of our fish despawned while we were gone.
So let's see here. I need some. Yeah, I'm going to use some yellow terracotta. And that's all I need to begin with. It's mostly going to be that. The Aquarius research base, and probably most of them, are yellow, or at least they started out as yellow. They slowly have been taken over by coral, which is something we'll add to the game later. Okay, so let's see here. So we're using mods that give us a lot of different underwater. Oh, there's unicorn fish. A lot of underwater creatures that you don't usually see in real life or in mine. Oh, look at all the sea slugs. Oh, something's already attacking me. Oh, I'm being attacked by a shark, maybe?
Yeah, you're being attacked by a... Oh, hammerhead.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that was quick.
Okay, I'm gonna go up.
Oh, that was great. Okay. I wondered if the sharks were aggressive. And, yeah, they totally are. Oh, there's a shark again. Hey, buddy. Okay, so let's see here.
Okay, the
Where...
tiger shark is ignoring me.
All right, stay away from me.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh,
That was...
so the tiger shark got you.
Yep.
Oh, there's some gars. Oh, there's a shark again. And maybe if I boop it on its nose, that'll be enough to make it leave me alone. Oh, something else is getting me now. This might be a lot harder than I thought it would be. I'm not sure what's fighting me. Oh, it's a shark. Okay.
All right, so how big does this need to be? How many blocks by how many blocks?
I believe the interior dimension 7 is what I was using.
Okay.
I might. Okay.
Getting some...
That shark is going to be a real problem.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might have to kill the shark.
Well, maybe there's a nice flat area over here. I don't see a shark. Nope, nope, nope. Where is it? I don't see it. Why am I dying? I don't see anything, but I'm dying. Oh, you can run on the bottom pretty well.
You drowned.
Maybe... Oh, I just drowned.
You forgot about your air bubbles.
I have to breathe. Cool, cool, okay. Is that shark gone? I guess it is.
I don't see the shark anywhere.
Okay. There's a sea anemone.
I did get my sword out just in case.
Okay. Oh, I thought that there was some kind of air gauge.
There is. It's bubbles.
Oh, the bubbles. I see them now. I didn't see them before. Ooh, meat.
Remember also that there's food in the chest, and also remember that while you're underwater, you can go and stand in the little pocket that I made with a door to refill your bubbles if you're starting to die.
All right. Where do you suggest we do this? I'd like to do it amongst the coral.
I think... Oh.
Maybe right over here? Oh, not getting enough air.
I don't know where you are.
I'm at the surface with you right now.
Okay.
I think right below me might be a good spot. Oh, I need something to efficiently break blocks with. What should I use to break the terracotta with?
Break terracotta?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember if it's a shovel or if it's a... I think a pickaxe will be good enough.
Pickaxe, okay. Is there one in the chest? I don't think so.
We might have to have a part 2 with building this.
Oh, for sure. We'll get as far as we can, and then... Let's see. Pickaxe. So, ooh, I'm gonna get a nice one. Let's see. Netherite. Okay.
I am gonna... My potion of water breathing.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll put one in here. Okay, I put one in the thing for you too.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, let's try this again. Now, where was I? I don't remember. I put down a couple terracottas. There we go.
Here?
Yes.
Alright.
So, I think... Oh, I just have one little light block. Oh, I need to get out of creative. Game mode. Revive. This is why these videos are edited.
Yes, typically.
Yes. Okay, so you have the image I have, right? There's like a... I just did that right in your face. That was funny. Yeah, okay, good. Can you make us a little air pocket?
Yes, hold on. I need to run up and grab a door.
Oh, I almost died. Come on, get some air. Oh, I guess you only have to go up for a moment, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's convenient.
Alright.
Okay, so there's like a base. There's like a base, and
There we
then...
So you can just run up to this door and refill your bubbles.
Okay. There we go. Okay. So there's like a base, and then there's a gap, and then the actual living tube is above that. Oh, hello, little fish. Oh, I can't fly in this game. Creative or survival is hard. Oh, and I'm dying again. Come on. Oh, I can't get in there easily.
So when you have the way you have this, you've got it 4 wide.
Yes. It's just not done. Because I keep dying. Nah. Man, you cannot hold your breath long.
I do have the water breathing potions if you need them.
So, how long does that last for?
I made some 8-minute ones.
Oh, wow.
That's the longest it can go.
Well, could you just make another door, please?
Yep.
Because I think... And can the air bubble be bigger so it's easier to get into?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get back in here. Oh no, they're not instantaneous. Okay, no, I don't want to. I don't want to mess up the door. Well, now,
There we go. We've got a
yes,
3
but
block.
and
bubble.
that's good, but they're gonna be in the way of the I can't get in. I can't. They're gonna be in the way of the build, unfortunately. Okay, back at it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is a good time. Oh, jeez. Come on. Get in there. Ooh. Oh, well, whatever. Okay. Well, yeah, as soon as, well, I'll start making a little version of the living quarter for us to have an even bigger space to go into.
Mm-hmm.
That's a smart way to do this. Yes, okay. I will start making living space. Oh, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Get in there, get in there, get in there. Okay, whew. Okay. All right. Just want to make a little spot. We don't die. And then we can
Oh, hey.
build it out. Oh, and I'm dying. Okay, I can't get to the thing fast enough.
You have to leave a gap for us to get into.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how to do this. I just knew to make a space and then need to
Yeah,
break
so if you
something.
leave a gap, we put a door on it, then we can... Here, I've got a door right here.
Okay. Oh, it's still filled.
It's still full?
I think it's still full of water.
Okay. I have some extra sponges as well.
Come on, break. There.
Ooh, no, I don't.
Okay, well. Let's see here. Okay, start making it bigger here. Let's see, so 5. Need to make it so... Let's see, 1, 2... Jeez. Don't even have time to... Don't even have time to think. Well, between taking breaths. Alright, so it needs to be taller. How tall did I make it? 1, 2... 1, 2... Oh, let me go in here while I look at something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
All right, now it is a. Okay, it's empty now.
Cool, thank you. All right. Back in the water. Oh, I didn't mean to put that there. Okay. X. Oh, why are you flooding? Shouldn't be flooding. What if I close the door? Huh. I thought when you make a close off an interior space, it'll evacuate the water. Apparently not. I'm going to get some things.
Yeah, there's no water in here.
Oh, I thought that there was. Okay. Never mind. Okay, I'm just going to add a light, and I'm going to add some glass, and we will call that we'll call that done for the moment. This will be what we do the next couple episodes on, probably. There's certainly a lot to talk about when it comes to the ocean and coral reefs. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Don't die, get in there. I'm so bad at this. There we go. Whew. Barely survived. Jeez. Okay, there's that. And then I wanted to... Do you have a sponge?
I have one sponge, yes.
Okay. Will you... it may be needed, because I'm going to make a window. Oh. Yeah. Okay. That's nice. Yeah, let's do another one. There. Let's do another one. I like how it breaks very easily, like it should. Okay, I'll do one more. No. No. There we go. Okay. Look at that. That looks so nice. And it's going to look better and better as we work on this. Okay. Well, why don't we... I'm going to go to the museum just so that we have one shot of the museum in this game. You haven't. Creative. Oh, I keep messing it up. Oh, no, I am in creative. Okay. So let me get the coordinates. The museum is here. Back to game. EP. Okay. There we go. Okay. Inside the museum. Let's go out. Well, give you a quick peek. So there are two buildings, the Nature Exploration Center, the Nature Research Center. The building I am currently in, that we are currently in, is called the Nature Research Center. That's what my Minecraft character is in, and that is what we are in real life on the 3rd floor. Let's go out here so you can see what we've done so far. There it is. There's the Nature Research Center, and over here, it is the architecture is mostly done. We're working on all the exhibits, and then over here is the Nature Exploration Center, which I think is bigger and has a lot more work to go. But we're working on it. Okay. So, and once we're done with these, we're going to put them online for people to download for free so that you can explore the inside and the outside of these museums. All right. And now we're going to have to end it here with that, but we will return to this topic over and over and over. Next few episodes will be about the research base, and then after that, it could be anything. You can check our other episodes for to see if there's anything specific you want to learn about. If you have any requests, please put them in the comments. But that's it. We're going to have to get going. So thank you all very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section. We'll keep an eye on them. And that's it. So thank you for joining. I'm Matthew.
I'm Audrey.
And live from the Museum of Natural Sciences in North Carolina. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later. And fade to black.